In a blockbuster report from the Barna Group, the number of American adults following Jesus has skyrocketed 12% since 2021. Why is this happening? Well, CBN's Billy Hallowell joins us now to discuss. So, Billy, what struck you most about this report?
Yeah, I think the thing that struck me about this report is that it lines up with a number of other reports that we've seen, right? It's not just one study saying this. It's the Pew Research Center. It's the American Bible Society is about to release research in the next couple of days that's going to back a lot of this and actually be very encouraging when it comes to Bible use, right? So I think the thing for me is like, wow, all of these studies are pointing to this broader move that currently, right now, and that doesn't mean it won't change tomorrow, young people and adults are moving closer to God, have more interest in God. In fact, back in January, there was another survey that said that 52% of teenagers were very motivated to learn about Jesus, right? That's more than half of teenagers who are saying, look, we want to learn more about Jesus. So obviously, I think the big question, right, is what is causing all of this? Why is this happening? And that's the thing that I think it's really fascinating when you start to sort of dig into that.
All right, so let's get to that in a second, but I want to read something. It says, among Gen Z men, commitment to Jesus. This is, wow, statistics. Think about this. Commitment to Jesus jumped 22 percentage points between 2021 and 2025. Millennial men saw a similar spike of 18 percentage points. I don't think you could overblow how big of a deal that is. It's not 2 or 3, 22%. Billy, why is this happening?
Okay, why is this happening? I have to throw one more thing out before I get into the why, because this is crazy. So Dr. John Plake with the American Bible Society, they're about to put their report out this Thursday. In their report, I was trying to get him to kind of tell me, like, what data do you have? He was basically saying what you just said. It's among men, but that some of the people who were most opposed to reading the Bible are now actively pursuing the Bible. So the people that were in the camps of like, oh, I don't ever read it, I'm not interested in it, that they're starting to read the Bible. What's interesting about that is it's not just like, oh, I'm a Christian, which we could all say like, oh, I'm a Christian, I believe this. It's actual action. It's reporting action of wanting to actually do something that proves you're interested in faith. So anyway, that data is coming. But why is this happening? Here's my theory on this. My theory on this is that for a long time, people have been lied to. And this is why you're seeing politically and culturally and spiritually, all these things are mirroring each other. I'm not saying that the politics is the same as faith. What I'm saying is people are shifting quickly because they're realizing I haven't been told the truth, right? You sold me this lie, especially for young people. Like, you've sold me this lie. I can believe whatever I want. I can be a relativist. I can say that I can make up my own morality. And people have started to live that out. And what we're finding now is that it doesn't go well, that living it out actually doesn't work. And so when you have young people realizing that, and older adults and millennials and everybody, but particularly young people who have been brought up on those lies, it's sort of like their lives are shattered and now they're looking for the truth. And so where do they find the truth? They find it in the opposite direction of where they've been led. And so the cool thing right now is that is leading people towards faith, because that we know as Christians, that is where the truth is. So I think in a lot of ways, the enemy and culture and all these crazy things doing the things they've done have actually pointed people towards the truth inadvertently.
Woo! And one of my favorite things is apologetics. And I think for me, if you're watching this and you're struggling with your faith, one of the things that just gets me really excited is that the more I looked at the evidence for the truth, I was like, all right, this is going to be a really uncomfortable place to be. But one of the one of just absolutely incredible things, in my opinion, about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of the Bible, Yeshua, Jesus, is that it's true. Like, yes, it's the truth, and like it's our salvation, but like sometimes I think we forget about the fact that this is actually true. Like from the people described in the Bible to how things happen to the universe beginning in a moment. Like, you have all of these things that line up with truth, the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus, these archaeological finds they find every 5 seconds in Israel. And so when a lot of these other worldviews are kind of crumbling because it's like, built on sand, frankly, our faith isn't just the truth and like yes, it's the truth, but it's also true. And to me, I think that a lot of people in this next generation, Don't want the smoke screens, don't want the lasers, don't want the like hyper exciting church experience, which kind of I grew up with in the millennial 15, 20 years ago. You go to church and it's a rock concert. I'm not knocking that, but young people would prefer, hey, guy up front just hitting them with the truth. That's what the next generation wants. And I think the truth, aside from the facade, aside from, again, not knocking it, but how America has kind of constructed the church in all of its intricacies and weirdness. Again, not knocking it. You strip all that back and you're just like, who is Yeshua of Nazareth? And I think when you remove the facades, Jesus penetrates even the most hardened of hearts.
Well, and like in light of what you just said, you look at social media, right? We're all exhausted from social media. We're all addicted to it, but we're all exhausted. And I think a lot of young people, a lot of things on social are not real. They're not true. It's a highlight reel of things that it captures great moments, but you're not like when your kids are screaming and life is chaotic, you're not snapping pictures of that and putting it on Instagram, right? So I think there's this other element of people just craving real, true, not theatrics, just very basic worship. And I mean, on the gender issue, you can go down the line, right? There are very specific issues that we have as a culture led people down a path that is not only untrue, it's destructive. And so I think we're going to see more of this sort of unfold as some of those lies and deceits become clearer to people, not just on that issue, but many other ones. And so I think that's what's fueling this. And politically, again, we're seeing the same thing. People feeling like they were lied to, not told the truth, that the media hid information, right? Totally different thing, not in light of the faith, but it mirrors that quest for truth that people are on right now. And I think that's why you saw the country shift, and these spiritual shifts are happening at the same time.
Exciting stuff. Billy, my friend, thank you so much.
Thank you.